Hello everybody and welcome back to GODSENT versus mousesports, live into the pistol round as mousesports start out on the attacking side of Train, but hopefully it won't be the same sort of first half as what we saw from them on Overpass. They were a little bit uncomfortable there, but Train, their map pick, this is where GODSENT are under heavy threat.
Oh, for sure. We mentioned it a few times. It is a map that GODSENT can play, but against mousesports, it's going to be a tough one for them to try and actually overcome, even after such a strong first map. But right now, mousesports, as you had said, we're pretty quick in towards A main. Eventually, will throw down smokes, an aggressive one actually back towards Ivy. So this lets them take that fight up against Sticko. But there already is the rotations coming in. But look at the damage just being exchanged back and forth. Eventually, Frozen is going to be able to find themselves one. Apart from that frag back from Michael, I was going to say that was it so far, but eventually Frozen and Crystal find them one each as well, leaving Crystal just pinned in on the bomb site. I don't know how he's still going. Rops is low, there's a chance. Last bullet for the headshot, smoke down on the bomb. And Frozen is not the healthiest player alive right now either.
He's thinking about going up to B, or at least faking it out, stepping all the way back. Crystal, though, going to fade through the smoke. I think Frozen might have expected this. Oh, but he might not hit the shot. Luckily, Crystal missed it, and Frozen had time to follow up onto him, putting it 1-0 for mousesports, but an unlikely hero emerges. 3 kills on the board. Well played for Crystal, but Frozen is the one to win out the round to start it off for mousesports in the way that they weren't able to do over on Overpass, at least on their CT side.
Yeah, but now you need to ensure that they are going to be able to overcome this force buy. And for a team like mousesports, you would expect that. Going for a relatively heavy investment in terms of the utility, only pulling out 2 rifles, and even then going with the Galils on the bow Carrigan and Woxic. So heavy on the SMGs up against a Scout, some Deagles, a 5.7 and a UMP. There is definitely some hope here for GODSENT to try and get something done with the force buy. And if they would be able to find that, put them in a fantastic position. Madden's actually gone aggressive in A main, so this is a decent amount of control for GODSENT to actually kick this round off. Sticko around Pop Dog as well, so they're looking to try and actually hold quite aggressive over on this A side of the map. And Crystal, that is ballsy. I guess he's feeling it after that previous round. Swings in on the ramp despite being the sole B defender to take that fight and does win it. And now in towards main, Carrigan with that bomb on his back wants to ensure that he is not going to be the only man moving around this corner, because if that goes down, they're in trouble. The flash though, it was perfect. Madden completely blinded. But so far, it's only Carrigan to actually contribute to this round for mousesports. And he's gone now.
This is a disaster, but GODSENT being punished now. Frozen and Woxic combined. They've spotted out Sticko. The only player left, really, is Crystal to again make a clutch happen. Molly to death. Almost 3 HP. Whoops, he goes back down for more. Luckily, he doesn't get ticked by it, or it would have been the end of him. Crystal on the flank, though. Sticko's trying to make noise, trying to distract him. He's done so successfully. Crystal takes it from behind and leaves Frozen to be the only one left. The MAC-10 out as he fades through to the B bomb site. He's going to get the plant over here, but afterwards, Sticko's avoided being on a predictable angle now. Considering the HP of Frozen as well, it's not that much better. And there you go, he actually loses the fight.
Damn. Okay, you always try and build up a little bit of hope for those force buys, but I wasn't really believing in it initially, but yeah, it managed to work out in the end for GODSENT, despite mousesports nearly being able to recover it. Of course, Carrigan was able to deal with that threat of the A main aggression, but not with that flank apparently out through A main, which pretty much put the kind of seal in the round at that point, leaving it into the clutch of course. And despite the bomb at least going down, that is one positive for mousesports. It certainly helps them out a small bit, considering they only get 1400 loss bonus, obviously. Will the buy come in? I think they will just decide to take that one eco. As I said, the bomb... Oh, okay, never mind. They're actually going to go ahead and buy. Yeah, Woxic bottoms up body armor. Frozen pulls out a rifle. We'll get the Kevlar with it as well. Deagles elsewhere. It's not fantastic, but it's similar enough to what GODSENT had in the previous round, but maybe even a little bit stronger, actually having that AK to utilize, especially in the hands of Frozen.
I think the big difference is where you're going to be able to use them. GODSENT caught mousesports coming out of main and did a lot of damage. For mousesports, they've got to force the fight themselves. The AK can lead the charge and look for those duels. And they're moving in towards the B bomb site where Crystal's all by himself, but he's got a molly in hand waiting to spot someone, sees a leg. He's actually going to decide to wait a minute, even deploying the smoke down first. Presuming that in this round, mousesports will have investment, right? They're going to have some utility to play with, and if they are going to move out to B, it's likely to be with some util thrown over. Playing close to the smoke as well to catch them as they came through. That does strike me as a bit of a one-and-done position, but he's not going to be challenged on it.
Yeah, not for now anyway. They in theory could move back later on, but by that point, the smoke obviously being gone, you'd imagine Crystal will have repositioned himself anyway, so not going to be finding any contact there in the beginning of the round. mousesports now moving back and setting themselves up for what looks like it is going to be likely just out A main, I'd imagine, at this point. They do have one player above Pop Dog as well, so try and burst down, see what they can do. Rops could even, I guess, try and pull a rotation back over towards B before he moves forward. I don't think that's really his goal for now. They do ideally just want to try and work together and see what they can find. Again, this is the full force buy from mousesports. Christian on the Deagle going to be able to find one, but Madden's already here to help. Been able to pull that one back. Frozen though with a frag as well. Still keeping mousesports in this round, but the time could become a little bit of an issue if they don't go quickly. Frozen though on the AK. Picks up his second headshot and Woxic. This is perfect. Madden is not going to expect this as he comes around through the smoke. Indeed, he doesn't. Nearly reacts in time, but not really able to do anything as it's all on Michaelele. The nade, unfortunately, not going to deny the bomb plant as it's the one healthy player putting that bomb down. So with just a scout, Michaelele's chances in this retake are quite slim, and it looks like mousesports, they may have done it. They pulled back the force buy likely themselves. Jumping no scopes. That's ambitious for Michaelele, and it isn't going to work out for him.
Well, mousesports keep it alive. The 2-1 on the board. GODSENT scout brought over, given a Madden early on. A second one on Michaelele. All right. I see it. They're going to see the force buy. Feels like we're back in the CIS region again, Dean. We keep on forcing.
Not quite as crazy as...
no, not as wild.
What game was that exactly? Namiga Gamba Youngsters, is that what it was?
Exactly what it was, and it was on Vertigo.
Yeah, the first like 10 rounds were just constant force buys back and forth and trading. But yeah, I mean, that's possible here. As you said, GODSENT have gone back in for their buy as well. 2 scouts, a UMP, some pistols. It's a little bit more nearly than what they had the previous time, although in terms of nades, I think they're a bit more limited. Obviously, a much safer buy as well for mousesports, going for rifles on everyone. But that doesn't help them out too much when Madden and Michaelele are actually able to combine those scout shots. That's a nice little strategy from them. They hit 2 immediately towards Carrigan and claiming themselves a little man advantage to work with. That is kind of crazy from Crystal. He's the sole B defender trying to peek up our B. Obviously, if he spots there's no one there, then they have the ability to keep that A stack in play. But if he goes down, the B bomb site is very likely lost. The scouts do make it in time to try and contribute, but it's not going to be easy.
No, not with all those smokes still in play, but up on top. Hello, Rops. They're losing a lot of health on the crossover. Woxic almost struggled as well with a nade to Michaelele, who hadn't got any armor to work with to start this round out. The other 2 players decide it's time to go on to live another day. I mean, Zen's got an AK, which isn't too bad. Sticko, 11 HP, and full Kevlar with a helmet. It is time to just took away. Ben's going to get himself in a position as well. Probably close left here, I'm guessing. I felt close left would have been a bit better because Sticko can spot from afar and he can catch them as they're baited in, right?
Yeah, here he could be kind of exposed to main, and I think maybe even if they go a little bit wide, not even as wide as they for Zen to see them, I think they can maybe see his legs under a little bit. So it was a dangerous spot. No one was hunting though from GODSENT, so none of the weapons are going to be... no one was hunting from mousesports, and none of the weapons are going to be lost. They're okay here.
Don't get punished for it, but it was definitely a dangerous play, and I don't see much merit to it. It doesn't give you any advantages. They're probably even less likely to get a frag because they'll take a heads-up duel and you're already low.
The main thing being done at mousesports do actually manage to overcome the force buy this time, getting themselves some control off the back of it. Should have the ability to get a fourth here on the T side for themselves, which is good very early on. But there is one AK in the hands of Zen. And I seen someone called them GODSENT last one instead of GODSENT. And that's what we'll call them if he manages to win this round for them with the AK.
Oh, it might not be Zen that does it first, though. Crystal, he's got a little zappy zap. Little zoopy doop.
You won't be pushing with that anyway.
I'm out of words. I'm out of things. I've never thought about it too much, but he's got a Zeus. All right. He's going to try taser people. A titty taser. Could go for that one. Because you aim for the chest, right?
That's a weird one. Okay. That was more towards the neck. Gets himself the 1 kill. Normally you want to try to be able to retrieve the weapon, but in that case it just wasn't possible with so many players coming down the ramp. It looked like there may have been some hope there with that second kill even being found by Zen. But unfortunately that was quickly dealt with, and once the rifle was gone, the remaining players only having pistols couldn't really do much about it. 4-1 for Mouse. They do take a couple of casualties though, so not bad for GODSENT, considering they didn't invest much.
Yeah, I mean, to be able to go in there and just take the opening duel with the Zeus is always... gives you a little bit of a laugh. But also drops a weapon, causes some reinvestment from mousesports that you wouldn't expect. Zen makes it work with the AK despite not, dominating the round afterwards. And here's their chance to stop them. Mousesports are really flying ahead though with 4 rounds on the board. I mean, early half, they've definitely got a lot to work with. So we need to see an answer back, and Madden is the answer, but he goes up the... How is he still alive? How does he win that duel? What? He was going up the ladder, got caught, jumped off, sprayed upwards, and somehow wins that fight.
I have no idea. It is low on health, though, at this point, and with Carrigan having creeped out towards Sandwich, that could be a bit of an issue. But Carrigan himself also getting dinked down in order to win that fight, so he is not looking too good. They do have 2 players pushed out, but without the bomb, and with the flank from Madden, which has just now spotted it, they can't really do anything. Oh, and they're not even able to win out these fights so far. It's all on Woxic. He needs to pick up a 1-on-4. He does have the element of surprise, I believe. That is one positive. Maybe he can catch one player off guard. You can see his incredibly high sensitivity being a bonus. There's so many angles to deal with, but he will in the end be caught off guard by Zen. Wasn't too worried about Ivy. Was focused elsewhere, and there it is, GODSENT. They get themselves their 2nd round. They bounce back once they get the rifles in their hand. They do so very convincingly as well. But we will see one more buy coming out for mousesports. They'll have to spend pretty much everything, but it is still a really strong investment. They can try and bounce back straight away.
That's what GODSENT needed, answering in early on. Singing loud and proud and taking down mousesports off their high horse, but unfortunately they've still got a little bit of a stack of cash to sit on. And we again need to see much more from GODSENT. They win this one and probably force down to an eco. Madden's just been tagged up by his teammate. But it wasn't for too much. He's 88 health. Prepping the new team. Oh, Rops and Carrigan both going to be finding openings. This is huge for mousesports. They've just overrun the A-bomb site. And Zen couldn't even get out of there. He was trying to run back. So is Crystal. He's in a molly. 50 HP lost to it. And just looking to save this AK, but it's not being allowed. Chris J's already up behind. And with low health, he didn't stand a chance. The headshot even. Just to add insult to injury. 5-2.
That was the worry for GODSENT.
Yeah.
They get themselves the 1 round. Mousesports immediately bounce back, pull them up to 5 now on the T side. Very likely 6 off the back of it. And this is when you kind of start to think, okay, yeah, this is a little bit more how we were expecting this series to go. We were going into Overpass like, okay, yeah, this isn't a map that mousesports play a lot. It's going to be a tough one for them. Maybe their individual skill could carry them through. But we weren't too shocked when GODSENT were able to get that victory. We were kind of shocked about how one-sided the first half was, but mousesports, they recovered a bit. They started to look a bit more like themselves, and since coming on to train, have certainly looked like the better team so far.
Again, as expected, though, right? We said moving on to train, that's where mousesports should have a good performance. But the pistols, again, the ones to open it up. Sticko traded out immediately afterwards, though. He tried to run further forward and catch a couple more off guard, pick up the weapon. There was a scope staring straight at him. The only thing that GODSENT have to work with is an MP9 on Zen with armor. Odd to even go in for that instead of perhaps a scout coming in. Is obviously generally playing a much bigger role, but I think on the back of the massive, very fast smoke executes mousesports through earlier, Zen thought that a scout wouldn't really play a great role. This MP9 could dance around those smokes and utilize the close range duels, but instead mousesports have slowed it down, not wanting to smoke execute and fast rush A versus pistols, which I think is probably the right call. In fact, you see smokes used to obviously block off angles, but generally not when pushing. Just when wanting to take peeks, like slowing down any Ivy peeks. Or indeed even faking out. But if you were to smoke execute A, there's going to be pistols behind every single one of those. And you're just not going to get away with it. Because they're going to do wild stuff like running straight through it at a random time to try come behind you and catch you off guard. And adding elements of RNG into a rifle round when you're against such a weak buy is definitely not what you want to do.
Yeah, agreed. They played this safe. They brought it back towards B, and with that have found themselves the sixth round as we expected. Yeah, the MP9 was an interesting choice, as you said, likely so he could play around those smokes, but now he has it into this round as well. Will he want to just upgrade to the rifle? He already, of course, has Kevlar to work with. Did he lose any? Yeah, unfortunately, he did lose a bit, but being on the CT side, that doesn't really matter. You don't have to upgrade to that helmet, especially when you know that, obviously, your opponent, they're going to have a very strong economy. They're very unlikely to have any SMGs in, unless they're crazy. We've seen some teams who like doing that when they have a load of money. Fnatic, I know they like to, at least in the games we've covered of them recently. But this buy, yeah, keeping the MP9 for the nades, that is understandable. But then with Crystal also on a UMP, the buy really isn't that strong for them.
A team nade? Oh, that molly. Woxic, he didn't realize he was running straight through with the nade out. Zen knows he's taking damage, and then he'd be falling back.
No.
It bounces off the wall, though, and goes a little bit wide. Good chance, though.
Overall, really good damage, though, for GODSENT to kick this round off. I mean, Woxic, especially being down to 36, obviously kind of limits what aggression he can have with the up, and it is still very early on in the round, so you'll probably see the rifles more so trying to work those opening picks. Yeah, you can see Woxic just holding very passively for any A main aggression, which has come in, so that's fair. Oh, the deep smoke, though. That has restricted so much info for Mouse now. If they want to go back towards A, most likely they will be looking to try and reclaim this control.
Yeah, they'll have to push back through and stick out. Oh, unless he goes all the way. He was really poking his nose through that smoke. He grabs Woxic, and the fade out is fast. Carrigan tries to swing, but gives away that he's close. Sticko, look at that. He knew the player was pursuing him and in main somewhere. That's bought him another Molotov, which he's going to lob down and then peek behind it. That wasn't expected. Bomb dropped 30 seconds on the clock. mousesports can't even win this anymore. They'd have to go all the way to T-spawn, pick up the bomb, shift walking the whole way, evidently, grab the kills, and then make it out to A. They wouldn't have a chance to even go B. It's way too predictable, and GODSENT know they've got it on lockdown. So too to mousesports, just trying to save these weapons. But Crystal, he's not about that life. He doesn't want them to save. Zen's on his way as well, and they'll look to blitz in here at the end of the round. They'll risk their armor, no problem.
Yeah, I don't think really wanting to gamble too much in this situation. Letting those weapons be saved over then in the end. Letting Chris J and Rops have them, which is going to help them out a decent amount. They still had money in the reserve, but obviously it'll let those players buy back up their utility. Still have a little bit left over as well, and everyone else is actually able to get their own weapons, so that's not too big of a deal. Woxic even coming straight back onto the op. So again, mousesports, they can do what they done before. They can bounce back, but if they don't, it is an opening for GODSENT to start working back in, and that previous round looked a lot better from them, especially from Sticko. The timing was a little bit unfortunate for Woxic. He was probably kind of like, how the hell do I go down there? Was no one watching? But it was just kind of the way the angle worked out. It was quite unfortunate. Carrigan done what he could. He was kind of like, oh, did I just let you die? I better get this straight then. And yeah, that didn't work either. And from that point, it kind of just spiraled out of control, if we're being honest. And Crystal, back in this position you were talking about before, up close on the ramp, you're seeing a lot of presence, or rather a bit of presence as well around Ivy there from mousesports, with a couple players probing that area. But it is most of them moving towards B, or at least the halls for now.
It's going to be a slow and steady round from mousesports. Clock already ran down quite a bit. The Sticko is just harassing them so much getting into T main. It feels like they have to commit a player towards holding that, or they will lose it. And find a CT tucked on one of the corners as they walk back in.
Yeah, you don't normally see the A main aggression this consistently.
Certainly not working out this consistently.
No, not at all, because it's fairly easy to get there as the T side and stop it from
it's the bomb.
Frozen, you have the bomb.
What's it? Why? You know there's a player in there. He just did it the round before as well. Crystal somehow won the duel with a UMP. This madness.
Isn't going to expect a close E-box player. Look, Madden has a free kill. This is just crumbled. GODSENT are making these last couple of rounds look convincing, and it is Sticko around main that is really the spearhead of it. The bomb, especially, as he was able to gain that control in this round, it kind of seemed like everyone on mousesports just went into panic mode.
Oh, 100%. That push straight down through pop. They had to secure some sort of control for when they eventually retook A main and hopefully get in there for a split. But it doesn't matter because the player that was out in sight died to that close play. And now it's over. Woxic can't get out of it. Okay, Madden missed the spray. So he gets 2 kills, fades away with that. Bringing the op through to the next round, not dying after time. Lots of positives there, because that would have been a tragedy if Woxic died. But with the op saved, they can still get a buy up around this. Rops dropped over an AK, got one for himself. It's just Chris J on a Galil. The only downside, alongside a little bit of a lackey. Oh, got the hiccups. A little bit of a lackey utility.
Unlucky timing for hiccups.
It is. It was just the one. They're gone now. It feels alright.
The one. It wasn't hiccups then, it was hiccup. But Zen getting himself the opening kill on Woxic over towards Ivy is again a massive find for GODSENT. This time it's not around A main where they get the advantage. But Sticko, I think, is considering going for the aggression again. At least, though, they have smoked it to just keep that fear in the back of the mind of mousesports right now so that they do have to worry about this position. And, of course, not actually going for it. Keeps Sticko in a spot here where he can help main, but he can also help out elsewhere if it's called for.
Yeah, I mean, mousesports are going to lose a lot of time going back in there. It's got to be in the back of their mind, like, Sticko's probably in there somewhere. What corner is he on? And they've left the ball behind this time before going in for it, at least. Frozen's fallen, and Carrigan known to be up close. Sticko going to try to aggress on top of the train and catch him off guard, and he's done exactly that. Carrigan not making the read, and only 2 players left for mousesports. Despite the investment they managed to pull out, they've gotten nothing for it. And that is a tragedy. Again, the T side stalled once these weapons come out. GODSENT have been playing so damn well.
Yeah, obviously still at the moment in a bit of a tough spot being on the CT side, ideally needing all the rounds that main. Sticko is not going to stop at that main aggression. Again, they will expect it. They are actually this time, though, able to deal with it without losing the bomb and more players. So it is going to be an ability, the ability for them to push out, but they don't expect Madden to be up close, and Popdog pops out 2 crisp headshots on the AK. And with that, giving GODSENT the 5th round. And finally, they've broken the economy for mousesports, who are going to have to go ahead and take an eco now. So likely we are going to see them tying up this scoreline.
You do have to remember, though, for mousesports, having those early foundations is fine. If they do end up being 9-6 down at the end of the half, in the grand scheme of things, that's okay.
Fine, but they wanted more because they had such a good start, yeah.
Exactly, because out of those last 9 rounds, if you win 0, that hurts. That's where you really get a kick in the gonads. And you should
Especially
have done
momentum-wise, your own confidence is going to be a little bit shattered. Even if you're like, okay, CT side's going to be easier, it can still, especially if you get off to a poor start then by losing the pistol even, you can be like, ah, damn.
I'm sure we've all had those
I would imagine
games
a team like
where you're winning and you feel like you're losing, right?
Oh, Michael. Yeah, it's just, you're down yourself. Chris J, what the hell? I was going to say Michael hit a nice eagle shot a moment ago. Chris J hits 2 and suddenly brings this into a very winnable round. I was a bit worried as they did get the bomb planted, and this flank right now from Rops as well not being expected. Zen needs to get this kill quickly so that they can move forward, but as I said, the flank, they need to expect it. They haven't so far. Zen gets that kill on the bomb site, but he has no idea. There we go. Rops pounces. He's just been chilling, shift walking through connector the entire time. Oh, we ruined it, Mitch. We were discussing the positives.
That's not the round I should have won, Dean. I mean, in all fairness, that looked like it should have been pretty clear cut. Even when I saw them come down the ramp, it's like, yeah, okay, they maybe get a bomb plant. That's going to be a decent round for them, and somehow they come through on just pistols. Yeah,
now 7 is it's already a great T side. 6 is a little bit dodgy because if you end up losing the pistol at that point, there's a chance you go down maybe even 12-6, which obviously is a bit of a comeback to build up. They've confirmed themselves at least 7, and up against a buy here that sure is pretty decent, including the double up setup for GODSENT. It's not perfect though. They're lacking those nades, which they have been using a lot for that aggressive playstyle they've been liking. Zen though, he opens things up already on Carrigan.
It's a nice start for them. I want to pull back into this or else the money's going to be gone. mousesports on 9, and oh, the return on Zen. That's Ivy open. They've also got Popdog, or so they think. No idea about Madden down below. He's going to look to come on a quick flank if he doesn't see anything soon. And as time ticks by, nothing showing. Crystal about to take contact. He gets taken down. That's Madden going up the ladder almost certainly. He's just made it to the top, I believe. Yes, indeed. But he thinks he's coming on a B flank, that he's going to catch them off guard. Unfortunately, it is only one player down there. And that's Rops, who's all too aware that they could be coming up pop at this point. Like, he was watching it, but Madden still gets him. He was on the ladder, had to jump off it. Not possible for Rops to do that in time, but now they've got the info on exactly where Madden is. It's going to be a bomb planted, a 1v3 retake for him to attempt. With an AK in hand and no money for the next round, there's a possibility he thinks about saving.
I would say it's a pretty high likelihood that he will just save that AK. Going for the retake would be a little bit silly when you have an AK you can bring into this next round. Your team getting 1900 loss bonus, so they're going to be looking at a full eco where they can't really afford much. Probably can't even really upgrade pistols. So having the 1 AK will be a decent recovery. Then they'll be focusing on getting the buyout and the following. But the issue is, mousesports, they're likely going to be sitting on 9, which is, of course, a fantastic score on that T side. One that's going to make them feel really comfortable, and obviously on the flip side, make GODSENT feel a little bit nervous.
I was looking for a second, like Woxic might exit towards CT, but no, they're going Ivy, so no opportunities for Madden to get an even further upgrade, but what is, I guess, more of a positive is no opportunities for him to get taken down. The AK guaranteed to save over to the next round, but look at the money of his teammates. As we said, no cash for this one. Investing would be shoddy. I mean, they could get some scouts. Alongside the AK, a few pistols. This late on in the half, you could consider it, but I think at this point, GODSENT are just thinking about playing for 6 rounds. Allowing mousesports to have this potentially. Crystal again, going to come through on the taser. The Zeus. Playing in the same position as again by the looks of things. I mean, he played it twice so far, so why not? 50% success rate.
Yeah, I mean, it got him a kill. I don't know how successful it was. Madden on the AK. Okay, the Zeus, hang on. Yeah, it's going to find one. This time, there's not a player ready to follow up quickly, so Crystal can retrieve that AK for himself, and suddenly it's a 2-on-5 for mousesports to recover. Crystal's not going to expect Chris J to already be out, so that is going to be one being pulled back, and with that, an open B bomb site. Molotov down to actually try and delay those rotates, give the bomb a little bit of extra time to come over, but there is also some players moving in towards Pop Dog. They likely will let him pass and then try and move up afterwards, I'd imagine, because you don't want to risk giving them a free kill as you're moving up the ladder. So yeah, Frozen is still able to make it towards the bomb site, but now there's going to be 2 players ready to flank very quickly. I imagine they planted open at least for the back lines, and I believe that is the goal. Yeah.
Madden was counting to 10, just waiting. Had no idea exactly where the bomb carrier was, but just wanted to be sure he was gone. By the time they went through, Sticko's only got a USP, but he spotted Frozen up close. They have no idea about Chris J. He's the one that could cause some damage, but as they eliminate Frozen, Chris has got a big task on his hands. And he's even backing away. He doesn't need to save. They've got money for the next round. And the last round at that.
I guess realizing he wasn't going to be getting back out connector, he wasn't going to get vision from connector on the bomb either, so it was... Yeah. It was very difficult for him to get back into position.
Also, Rops is quite low on cash and Frozen as well. Rops investing into the armor and Frozen too. I guess this just ensures there's no complications and you get full utility out from start to finish. But you can see there, Woxic could have afforded to drop over an AK as well. So
yeah, I mean, it helps him a little bit. I would think it was more so he didn't think that there was much of a chance of him winning that clutch. Yeah. I think that was probably a fair assumption at that point. It was a pretty difficult spot to be in. Mousesports, though, they're going to take the pace back up against the full gun round now again from the CTs, but Frozen will be able to actually get Sticko, the man who was such a nuisance around A before, but Zen coming through finds 2 of them fully blinded, I believe. Rops returning 1 at least brings it back into the equal position, but the bomb is dropped for the moment, so they can't really reroute this back to B. They do still have to focus on this A bomb site, where both of the CTs have already set themselves up. For now, though, Michael Lele at least being held off by the smoke. Okay, Crystal in the back lines now has been spotted. A few shots being exchanged, but none as of yet being connected.
That deep nade flies right over Woxic's head, but the bullet stoned as Crystal takes him down and puts Rops into a 1v2. Swinging wide to try and catch Michael Lele. The op missing the shot. The nade as well might do some damage, not a whole bunch, leaving him on 30. With 50 seconds left on the clock, there's plenty of time, but no bomb to play with. And Michael Lele making the smart rotation. Rops clears the angles, but by the time he comes back out, Michael Lele will have an angle for him crossing. Did he just shoot the op? He was trying to wallbang sight, maybe? But that gives away his position, and Rops now wants to come on a flank.
Knife in hand, though. He's not expecting Michael Lele to be so close. Just about gets the gun out. But wasn't able to connect the shot, unfortunately. Michael Lele going to be down on him 1 from the op, and with that confirming, GODSENT at least 7 there on their CT side. Not ideal, but considering they had a pretty poor start, they were able to recover it into an okay position. Mousesports are going to be happy with being able to add another 2 after what was beginning to become a little bit of a troublesome position, stuck on 6 for a while. But of course, guys, before we do move on into the second half, we are going to go ahead and send it over to a break. So stick around, guys. We'll only be a couple of minutes before we hop right back into it.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you lost all but we just keep on fighting and we never look back. Here we go, 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 let us heal and grow. You won't be alone, we're unstoppable. Don't be afraid to show what we're going for. This is what we know. Here we come back to life, we're still breathing. Standing up, everybody's gonna see it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. Even if we fall, we will rise up and we follow the path that we believe in. No, we're not gonna stop until we reach it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. Under peach yellow sky.
And welcome back, everybody. Rocking into half number 2. GODSENT 7 rounds on the board as they start out their T side. Not the best. The attack is going to have to be efficient from them if they want to avoid taking us to a third map, as mousesports have really warmed up coming into their pick.
Yeah, a few moments of shakiness, but overall looking a lot better than they did back on Overpass. And the question is, can they keep that up? Can they keep it up, especially to kick off the half? If they can find the pistol, then they're definitely going to be feeling really good about themselves then. As a bit of presence being shown towards Ivy there in the beginning from 2 of the players for GODSENT. They're actually beginning to move back after making a bit of noise like they were running away. And now again actually showing the presence, a few shots being fired off. They're about to be swung on though by a couple of mousesports players as Frozen peeks in. A little bit of help from Woxic, but they actually end up taking a dink and at that point being forced back off of the angle. We're going to see GODSENT give up on that pretty much. I believe the bomb still being around their main. This is kind of likely their main focus, as they do also have one player over towards just holding Pop Dog for now and also making sure, of course, they can't get flanked from B.
Well, the flash comes over here. GODSENT just start blitzing out straight through main with 4 players. And immediately Rops has dropped the smoke and Ivy blocks out anybody from swinging through. Woxic caught behind it, looks to fade, but right into the barrel of Zen. This is a great start for GODSENT, and mousesports trying to get access back in. Desperately look for picks, and it's Carrigan to provide 1, but he's going to have to put another 4 on the board if he wants the round. His team are dead. They're coming around and giving him the opportunities. Sticko on the triple burst to try and take him down. But in the end, it's Zen to close it 8-8 and put the pistol on the board for GODSENT, a round that they desperately needed.
Yeah, fantastic work from GODSENT right there, making the second map a competitive one so far and keeping themselves in with a chance of, as you said, having the ability to still make this a 2-0. Speaking of that, Copenhagen Flames, they no longer have that ability against FaZe. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to even make that second map competitive, as they did drop a 16-5 on Dust 2. But against the caliber of FaZe players, that's kind of to be expected. They're going on to Train now. I don't know how much easier that one is actually going to be for them, though. Oh, Chris J is ballsy. Look at this, straight up B. He's going to be a second player, but he actually manages to get both. Okay, the damage he initially got definitely helping out there to finish off Crystal. He is kind of stuck aggressive as that nade came in, but he will eventually be able to fade away. And it's a 5-on-3 suddenly.
Massive plays by Chris J towards the ramp. Now they look for a little bit more. GODSENT with a 2-man disadvantage, but Chris J and Rops can be traded back very, very quickly after being tagged up so much. The round isn't theirs just yet. mousesports need it tucked down. And in fact, it's both of those low HP players towards the B bomb site. Chris J also only managed to pick up a Mac 10. Obviously, in the rush of pushing forward and taking those kills, you're not going to get picky. Take what you can get and run. The smokes come over. mousesports not moving from A. There they are. Eventually, as Zen creeps out. Is he playing? Okay, so it's Michael entering with the UMP, and then they'll go A afterwards. Dragging the rotates fully through. Woxic on a scout. Close left, but Zen hasn't spotted him. That gives Woxic the chance to catch these guys off guard as they move out.
Oh, yeah, and indeed, he actually hits the headshot on towards Sticko, pulling the advantage back. Unfortunately, not able to follow up, so as you do see the bomb getting planted, you also have Zen pulling one frag back into the 2-on-2 now. Carrigan, creeping in, not able to find it, and Rupp's already being low is in trouble as Michael just swings in. 9-8 GODSENT, they overcome the force buy, but that was very, very dangerous. It was a good start from Chris J, unfortunately, as you had said, with the damage that they had already taken against the better weaponry, only been able to recover a MAC-10. They were still kind of outclassed in terms of the weapons that were available. So the lead being actually regained now for GODSENT. They did have it at one point, right? No, I don't think so. I think they were only about to tie it up. Yeah, they were 5-6, right? And then ended up losing against an Eco. Or a weaker buy, if I remember.
Yeah, it was just pistols from mousesports when they just rushed down B.
Yeah, they were about to tie it up. That's what it was. So I had it in my mind that they had got to that point, but they didn't quite, of course. But this one, they should be going ahead and extending the advantage even. It is only one Deagle being upgraded alongside a flash den for Woxic to support.
Well, Woxic's not going to get to throw that flash. He's taken down all too quickly. Zen jumping around, making this look like Quake, finding himself a triple. And Rops tucked in the corner. Might be his next victim. Maybe not. Oh, my word, Rops. The Deagles from mousesports on both sides have just been disgusting. That is where it stopped. Just the 2 kills. It's 10-8 we go. Flying up into the lead. But here's where mousesports get to answer back. I wouldn't be worried about their CT side just yet, as they finally get rifles out and AWP is a double op setup. Excuse me, as I see one on Chris J and Woxic. This could definitely be a turning point. One of the more difficult challenges for GODSENT to overcome.
Yeah, this is where mousesports are kind of putting everything into the one round, as you would expect, going straight to the double up setup, even though it is so expensive, knowing that this is one that they do need very much to keep themselves in this map and in this series. With the weaker weapons being retained, including a MAC-10 and then a couple of Galils as well for GODSENT. Obviously, they're approaching it with a bit of a bonus round approach where they'll still have enough to buy on most of their players next round. Not all of them, but they are also hoping to be able to win this one, and that is a very good sign of what could potentially come for them, because Michael has already found one to open it up in favor of GODSENT over towards Ivy. Woxic is gone. That's one of the ops dropped. Carrigan retrieves it, but they're still now down into the 4-on-5.
Sports, not really sure where the hit's going to come through, but they've decided to leave a solo player on the B bomb site. Rops has got a Molotov, to work with. He's ready to just lob that to the ramp and hold up, or buying them a little bit of time to rotate back if it is a B hit. But GODSENT, evidently, as we can see, they want to hit out A. Already the smoke to the right side of Ivy. Going to be fading through just afterwards. A second to allow him near sight. And there he is. Hello, Carrigan. And a second almost taken down inside the Molotov. Zen also escapes it. He looked like he was in that Molotov for like...
He was in it the entire time. It just stopped doing damage for a while. That was really strange. Chris J, though, he could have nearly stopped the bomb plant, but the planter realized, ninja'd out of the way, and then eventually gets the help of Michael to get the kill. I don't know. I need to rewatch the back. Maybe he stepped out of it for a second.
No, there's no way. He was moving left. He was moving into the Molotov.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he avoided it in the back, but that was just really strange. But 11-8. It's pretty much confirmed now. Rups is alone. This is not looking good for mousesports at all. We said train was going to be harder for GODSENT, and I mean, it may have been a bit harder for sure, but they're still making it look like a very competitive game from them. One that they're in with a really good running of winning. Rups, I think he will be able to save. Sticko is kind of hunting. He only has the Galil, so it wouldn't be the end of the world if he was to lose it, but already slightly tagged up. I don't think they really want to be going for this too aggressively. Oh, maybe. He's still moving forward slowly. I think Rups may be able to justify it. Okay, could have if he went around the corner, but sticks there instead and gets himself the kill. But 11-8.
Dean, I've just watched that back. He's in the Molotov the whole time, and it's doing barely any damage.
It's just kind of stopped. I don't know what was going on.
I really, I don't know.
Was it a team molly? Someone's saying. Even then, it was really strange.
Even then, I'd imagine it would do more damage than that. I mean, he took. I didn't count. I'll have to go back and count later. It looked like he took 10 ticks or something.
For ages.
Yeah, it just kept going down.
Like 50 health or something, if I remember.
Yeah,
correctly.
Yeah. I've never seen someone survive in a molly, team molly or not, that long. That was strange. Maybe he was moving into the part of it that was just blooming every single time. I don't know. That's odd. 11-8 is where we roll, regardless of how flame retardant Zen might be. Mousesports don't have a lot of stuff to worry. They've got a molly, so that's going to be useless. It's still on Rops. As we said, he was holding over towards the B site by himself, waiting for someone to come down so he could drop that molly. Unfortunately, no one ever came. No one came and knocking. It does mean him saving over that they've still got themselves a kit to work with, which is definitely something.
It gives them the chance, obviously, if they can bring it down to a close round, to actually be allowed to maybe get the defuse in. A bit of damage being done by the pistol, but with only a USP, not really anything too substantial. Still just spamming through. Unfortunately, Rops hasn't really had much of an opportunity to use that M4 as of yet. Only now coming around up through the flank and potentially trying to get down through Pop Dog, which isn't going to be easy. There's actually 2 players around there. So I don't really think he's going to be allowed to do anything. Saving the M4 could be a pretty decent choice. The pistols, of course, they don't really have anything to lose, or at least Woxic didn't. The other 2 players do at least have Kevlar.
It's about as clean as they could have hoped for. Really getting out without a single player being lost. Rops is the closest to the T-spawn where they're exiting, so he's not going to be going down to hunt them with the M4. If that was Chris J and Frozen, they might be going down a little bit, getting curious towards the bottom of the stairs and into T-spawn to try and dome a couple people, but even still having the armor, you know, they'll want to bring that forward, but the temptation to potentially upgrade could have been there. Double up setup again, making an appearance for Mousesports. I still wouldn't count them out at 12-8. I'd be very cautious about swinging over into... I think if the teams were reversed, I'd be confident that Mousesports would be bringing it at least very close to taking the map. For GODSENT, 12 on the board. We still have to see a couple more buy rounds come through. This one in particular. If Mousesports lose this, then I'm on the GODSENT 2-0 train.
Yeah, I agree. It's not over for Mousesports. It just is looking good for GODSENT. That is something that you cannot deny right now, but this round still carrying quite a lot of weight for both of these teams, especially Mousesports, who have had Woxic so far kind of struggling over towards Ivy just a little bit. He's fragging okay, but he's already been tagged up quite heavily there by a spam, I believe it was, so he's not looking too good at this point, being forced to play quite a little bit more passively. Fortunately, it's not really going to be a position GODSENT are putting much focus on anymore. Instead, looking to get themselves the control around main. Flash went over to kind of force anyone, I guess, who'd be holding the angle from Sandwich or up close, as you've seen with Carrigan, of course, to actually just back off of the angle and restrict the info. I don't think they actually want to commit this to B. As you can see, the bomb obviously moving back up through the halls, but it's at least taken some of that info away from Mousesports that GODSENT were okay. They could have this. And they are leaving Crystal here.
Dicko's going to get that smoke out, and he's crouched to the moment, so obviously not going to swing peek on it. But never mind, he swing peeks on it. Chris J's able to take him down. That's an upsetting one as GODSENT move in. They've no idea about the player up above. They get 1 kill on the Frozen, but Rops in such a good position to swing and catch them by surprise, and he gets himself the double. That's the round locked down. Unless Madden can pull off the 1v3, and Woxic way too quick on that shot.
Yeah, way too, and he needed to be as well. Time was running out, as you said, though, either way, so there wasn't really much to be done from GODSENT, and Mousesports picking up the round that you said they needed to. It was beginning to get out of control for them. Obviously, only surviving with 3 players there isn't ideal. They will need to use most of their money to actually drop back over to the players who went down and just reinvest in general into utility and such. But they've still got their double up setup here. They have an opportunity. If Mousesports do manage to get this round, of course, then you will see GODSENT struggling to buy just a little bit. And then suddenly it's 11-12. It's looking much, much closer. But look at this. A quick play straight out main from Madden. He was hoping for the help from Sticko, who was coming down through Pop Dog. He tries to molly the player out from E-Box, but does get caught off guard. And unfortunately, the only trade back since then has been Michael Lele there as he was working from A main. Woxic again returns, and Zen, who has creeped into the back line somehow, will eventually be noticed and dropped by the opposite Chris J. But he had a little bit of a chance there to try and catch one off guard. Mousesports up to 10, as I said, probably 11 now off the back of this. 2 players could buy, and so could Sticko, I suppose, if he didn't want utility, so they might go for it, and yeah, they are.
I don't blame them as well in such a tight score. You know, Mousesports, there's the potential that they won't have a lot of money after the kills they were finding, but reinvestment should be possible for that CT side, perhaps without a double op setup is the upside, right? You can weaken them a little bit. It is a risk taking this, but maybe it'll work. 12 to 10. They've got to hope so. The flash pushes the upper off the angle. Woxic not wanting to repeat though, knowing that it's likely one is just waiting for him around that corner. Crystal taking some molly damage. He just pops the smoke down to keep himself alive. Nico wants to toy with the idea of coming down pop, but he needs a little bit of pressure to be applied by his teammates before he worries about that.
Yeah, this is going to get crazy once they do finally try and move in the pop dog. Oh, Sticko, yeah, okay, just goes down a little bit to try and bait out the shots. The issue is he still takes quite a few bullets to the kneecap, so that's not going to be too comforting for him. Dropped to 31 health. Crystal, as we pointed out as well, being tagged up a little bit there. Only having a deagle, so this is a strong start into this round for mousesports. GODSENT to put everything into this one, so losing this could be awkward. At that point, we'd be looking at mousesports tying it back up. Woxic does actually find the opening around main as well, and the smoke going down from Carrigan is going to block the players from Ivy from actually having any vision. As I say that, it doesn't matter for Zen. Still manages to pick one up through the smoke. Woxic is being such a nuisance and doing more than that, finding himself every single frag that's needed. It is all on Zen now with his AWP, and after what Woxic just done, I don't think he's going to be able to one-up him. No idea how he lived. That third kill was crazy. He was jumping around for so long.
And that is one hell of a round to play out. Not the one GODSENT wanted exactly. And as mousesports reach 11, an op saved. This really complicates things for the T side, right? I mean, Zen won't have money for the next, and they could just play with Zen on a weaker buy. Probably not the player you want to have on a weaker buy. 24 kills on the board right now. Been dominating with the AWP as well. Ideally, they managed to save it, but that's also going to be pretty difficult to do. As soon as mousesports know that the last player alive is Zen, who saved in the previous round, they'll be looking for him. And maybe even a little bit after time.
Yeah, I think the discussion here will probably just decide on the eco. Forcing here would be an interesting one, obviously, because at that point then you wouldn't have a great opportunity in the round. You're probably going to be given the lead over the mousesports. As was mentioned, though, with Zen saving over the up, that does complicate things even in the next round just a little bit. So ideally, they do want to be looking for the bomb plant here to be able to allow for Zen to really find everything that he's going to need in this next one. But you can't count out the up. Crystal, he loves the Zeus. It makes a lot less sense on the T side, though, unless he's going to go try drop down Pop Dog. And yeah, that looks to be the goal. Straight down. No one from the CT side pushing up quite that aggressively. He did spot Frozen around around E-Box, rather. The Molotov not going to be moving him out of that corner, so he will be okay. But it did tag the player, I believe, up on the ladder. It did eventually spread the Crystal as well. Just a small bit. Frozen then popped in and got himself the kill. But Zen on the up has pulled one back.
Again, we talked about the relevance of Zen's up so far with a double kill already. You're seeing it, and they're scared about Madden swinging. But Zen's on to Chris J yet again. Not Madden they need to worry about as Michael falls. Zen's still here for a fourth. What is this? He's barely moved, and he just keeps on popping off. They peek him one at a time, and as Madden falls, it is still winnable for Rops, who's challenging him. He's face don't peek into Zen. You gotta know at this point, surely they've learned their lesson. No, they haven't. An ace. 5 kills on the board, the strongest weapon. And again, from the same position. He moved maybe 5 meters from the time he got the first kill.
Oh, man. I'm seeing people asking for replays of the Woxic clip. I know they're going to be asking for replays of that one. And I'm very sad we don't have the ability to run replays, because those were just 2 nasty rounds in a row. GODSENT, though, coming out with only the up. Zen, he needed to step up. He was able to do it. And now he has gone ahead and put GODSENT back into a position where they could potentially just go ahead and close this one out. If they win out this gun round right now, it would be mousesports in such an awkward spot, having no money for the next round. And likely having to allow Map and Serious Point to be given away. So that's some good damage at least. Michael is taken low as he tried to get the early peek around main. But it is traded back roughly on towards Frozen as well elsewhere.
The pressure is on, Dean. Mousesports got to be feeling it at this point. That previous round was just a disaster. Michael Lele with 8 HP and an op. It makes sense. You're going to give that op over to the player that has the least health, the old Bogdan rule, but at the same time, the Zen's just been so damn good in it. I love how we made the point about him performing on the AWP. And he just aces that round. It's poetic.
You made the point, though. I'll give you all the credit for that one.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you. In fairness, he had 24 kills. So it's not that hard to do.
Just click tab. Yeah, no, Zen's
he's
doing
great,
real good, man.
No, but he has. You could feel like it's been tangible, the impact that he's having on this game. Michael Lele taken down this time. That op is up for grabs, but the round might not be. GODSENT in a bit of danger. Madden returns one, but he's legged through the smoke. Woxic, that's going to cost him a big mistake, and that's an AWP. Zem is the one to get the kill. Sticko in with another. What is happening here? Mousesports, it's such a strong start to this round. I'm trying to pull it back, but that was the 18 HP Madden they took down.
Yeah, they had to read on that boost up. They've spotted Frozen on the bomb site as well. It's Christian who's wrapping around trying to catch this player who at the moment Frozen was struggling to find himself, but it's again Zen who's left to clutch it out. Already having 3 kills, I believe. No, sorry, 2. Looking to try and bring it up to 3 as the nade does lots of damage. Frozen not on the bomb currently, and Zen just peeks in, hits him in the leg. It doesn't matter with the health being so low. He is the king. He knows he's put the crown down. And by down, I mean on his head, because Zen is just going insane right now. He is looking to bring GODSENT over this finish line. We've only seen 3 rounds from mousesports so far here on their CT side, and they were consecutive from each other. Other than that, it has just been fully GODSENT controlling this on the T side, which has been very surprising to me. The pause from Mouse, man.
Someone needs to stop Zen. 32 kills. Like, this guy is just ridiculous. He aces one round, then 1v2s the next, stopping the bomb defuse. He won't even burn up the Molotovs. That kill, though, in towards Olaf. It was really weird. I figured he had that, so I was like, okay, they should be able to stabilize this, but no. You know the thing, going back to the molly earlier, I'm not sure, Dean, maybe you can correct me on this. I've never experimented with it. I didn't think there was less damage from team Molotovs. I even thought
it definitely does damage less damage. It takes a lot longer to kill a teammate, or not a lot longer, but a bit longer, but it didn't take that long. I mean, he took like 40 something, maybe 50 something damage in like probably 6 or 7 seconds. He took 2 full-on fights while standing in the Molotov and didn't die. So I was confused about that one. I don't know. I see in chat where we're calling us noobs, and that some of them anyway. Some people realized that was definitely longer than they should have been in the Molotov. To be fair though, we didn't realize it was a team molly at first, so thank you for that correction. Oh, Woxic. He doesn't want to let this one slip away from Mouse. They have only gone for the half investment here, so kind of playing for the overtime, but with an opening pick like that, you definitely cannot count them out the round itself. Sticko spots one player up on the blue train and doesn't want to stick around against those pistols.
There's Madden onto Rops, starting it out by dealing with the pistols up close, but Sticko, he's in a little bit of trouble. Finally, he knows what it feels like for the CTs to push into him and get him in the T-spawn. Losing main, but unfortunately, the rest of the team are falling. That AK out in the open didn't have a lack of armor, so that Mac 10 wasn't able to take him down. A 2v2 now comes into play. GODSENT moving in to rush the B bomb site and get a plant down, but Frozen, he's got his P250 out. He saw the bomb planter, but Zen spotted him as well. And Madden even from further away taking him down.
It was a decent start, but unfortunately now it's all on Christian. He already has 2 kills to his name, but he's gonna need to double that as he moves in from the ramp. No kit in play being a pretty big issue as it is planted for the back line, so in a prime position for GODSENT to be able to just try and run the time down on it. That's kind of the biggest thing working against them right now. It's actually planted, no, never mind, it's planted for Summit. So I guess for one player to peek from heaven, one can peek from ramp. Not ramp connector. He'll kind of have to commit a little bit though. There's the connector train blocking the angle, but you seen actually Madden making a little bit of noise. That gave the room for Zen to creep forward up on heaven right there and get himself that final kill. 15-11. GODSENT, they do overcome the half buy from mousesports, but now they're back onto the weapons. They're going to be looking to try and fight for the overtime. And mousesports needing 4 rounds on the CT side of train. That doesn't sound impossible, but so far they certainly have been struggling. It's actually GODSENT who call in the pause. Like, okay, we need to close this out, guys. We're so close. Let's just ensure that we can make it happen.
That's it. Just take your time, slow it down, call a pause, and gather yourselves for what's going to be a very important round, right? Let's play an imagination game. GODSENT lose this round, 15-12. They probably take an eco. Madden and Crystal would have a lot of money, but they'd Really just dispense that into pistols and armor. That's 15-12, 15-13 if they lose that. One more buy and then a force. So literally 2 full buys between GODSENT and an overtime. And actually, I said Madden and Crystal. Crystal hadn't bought yet. So only Madden would have money. He'd drop over the couple of pistols and they'd fly with it. But this and one more. So it is definitely the time to call a pause. And a faster A-strat is what they want to go with. Flash is actually blind Crystal at the start. Good nades to Woxic. They knew where he was playing. And he's got to feel just exploited at this point. That early rush, that fast presence was just to lob those nades in. And he's lost 70 HP because of it. Great read by
Woxic's
GODSENT.
been having a bit of a tough time, not in terms of frags. He is 21-16. There's been a few awkward moments, but overall he has been having a lot of impact. But again, yeah, you've seen GODSENT a lot of the time kind of focusing on his position, and a lot of the time, if not getting the kill, being successful in damaging him and really limiting what you can do in the round. And now they're moving back over towards B. There is a player still up close that they may not expect. They have this set up intentionally in play, rather, so that Rops can catch them off guard after Chrisjay took contact. But with Chrisjay finding nothing, and with Rops only been able to get the one, they are in a lot of trouble. They have to try and get this 2-on-4 retake, which Woxic has at least given them an opening back into now.
A chance for it to work out, but Woxic's low, as we said before. Crystal's right below. Hasn't been spotted. The nade onto Michaelele, but as he swings wide, he's taken out Carrigan. Got to win the 1v2 on sight. Michaelele is down, and now the defuse going to be tapped. Zen swings out and spots him, and that's a clean headshot to close it out. That Carrigan took a bit of a gamble, was hoping he'd come down the ramp, but in the end he didn't, and mousesports have lost out to GODSENT 16-11 and 2-0 in